Hi there and welcome to a new episode of the Z Zone. This time we have the return of the Titans, hard rock's greatest reunion and comeback albums. Born from tragedy yet fueled by determination, this legendary hard rock album became one of music history's greatest acts of resurrection. Following the death of the band's original vocalist, the remaining member transformed grief into raw electricity and immortal rock and roll power. The minimalist black album cover served as a solemn tribute, while the music itself radiated confidence, swagger and primal energy. Every riff feels monumental, every chorus designed for stadium immortality. What could have been the end instead became the beginning of a new era. AC/DC, Back in Black. Following the tragic death of Bon Scott, the arrival of new vocalist Brian Johnson revitalized the band with astonishing force and charisma. Rather than collapsing beneath grief, AC/DC forged one of the greatest comeback albums in rock history. A record overflowing with thunderous riffs, relentless rhythm, and timeless attitude. The album became both a tribute and a resurrection, proving simplicity, conviction, and pure energy could achieve immortality. Personally, I love this album. I know a lot of fans thought AC/DC ended with Bon Scott, but I definitely do not agree. A great comeback. 3 picks: Back in Black, Hell's Bells, You Shook Me All Night Long. After nearly a decade apart, 5 legendary musicians reunited. Themes of tension, alienation, and spiritual unease give the album cinematic depth, while the chemistry between the musicians feels immediate and undeniable. It remains one of the rock's greatest reunion albums. Deep Purple, Perfect Strangers from 1984. The return of the legendary Mark II lineup: Ian Gillan, Ritchie Blackmore, Roger Glover, Jon Lord, Ian Pace, restored one of hard rock's most important musical alliances for the first time since 1975. This band that they got together was, I don't think anyone thought it was going to happen. Probably not themselves either, but what a reunion. Ritchie Blackmore having fun, playing absolutely brilliant, and the band has a lot of new energy, making new songs, producing new albums, and like something like this. I didn't think it was going to happen, and I don't think anyone else would have. So with 3 picks from this album: Perfect Strangers, Knocking at Your Back Door, and Under the Gun. Next up, after years of stylistic experimentation and instability, a legendary voice returned to reclaim his throne. This album marked a reunion of a classic heavy metal formation whose chemistry instantly reignited the spirit of traditional British metal. We have Judas Priest, Angel of Retribution from 2005. The triumphant return of Rob Halford after 15 years away restored Judas Priest's classic identity with extraordinary force. From the explosive opening of Judas Rising, Halford immediately demonstrates his astonishing vocal range and commanding presence remained unmatched. Being a Judas Priest and Rob Halford fan, I definitely love this album. He's back, his songwriting, Judas Priest, great energy. Definitely back with this album. Thanks. 3 picks. Wheels of Fire, Deed with the Devil, Revolution. Part carnival and part rock and roll celebration. This album reunited one of rock music's most iconic original lineups after decades apart. We have Psycho Circus with Kiss from 1998. The reunion of the original lineup: Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley and Peter Criss. I saw this concert in Stockholm, and I remember that on the screen they printed that said, "Put your glasses on, put them off, 3D glasses." So some special effects was produced on the screens in 3D. So that was the whole thing, and it was kind of fun. It turned out to be the last gig in Stockholm with the original lineup. Sad, and now Ace is gone, so we know it's not going to happen again. I'm glad I was there and saw this and got the album. So thank you for that. 3 picks. Psycho Circus, I Pledged Allegiance to the State of Rock and Roll, and the last song, Journey of 1,000 Years. Check that out. Special one. This album restored one of heavy metal's most recognizable vocal forces. Aggressive riffs, militant precision and razor-sharp hooks create music fueled by confidence. We have Objection Overruled with Accept. The return of original vocalist Udo Dirkschneider restored Accept's unmistakable sonic identity after years of instability and lineup changes. Especially like the twin guitars with Accept, and this album is full of energy and they play really at their best. And something with Accept, even live, you can hear those twin guitars. The guitars are really unbelievable. So together with Dirkschneider, once again, Accept. 3 picks. Slave to Metal, Bulletproof, Objection Overruled. This groove-driven blues rock album celebrates rhythm, authenticity and the timeless pleasure of classic rock swagger. We have Return of the Boogie Man with Foghat from 1994. Foghat is one of my favorite bands, and especially the live album. And this album is actually inspired by Rick Rubin to start this project. They went back to the roots with covers by Muddy Waters, Big Bill Bronzy, Elmore James, Willie Dixon, some acoustic recordings and some with electric instruments. They have original materials as well, and it's really a strong and powerful Foghat classic slide guitar recording with a narrow sound, and I think the mix with the acoustic and the electric setup is really nice. This particular album is a Scandinavian reissue from 2000, so it's a little bit different cover from the original. Great album. 3 picks. Jump That Train, Play Dirty, Riding on the Wall. This triumphant album marked the return of 2 beloved musicians whose reunion revitalized one of heavy metal's most legendary bands. We have Iron Maiden and Brave New World. The return of vocalist Bruce Dickinson and guitarist Adrian Smith revitalized Iron Maiden's classic chemistry. As usual, Steve Harris inspired by a lot of different cult movies in the songwriting. So, the first track, The Wicker Man, is one of them. A powerful album, powerful songs, probably the best album since the 80s, I would say. And 3 picks: The Wicker Man, The Mercenary, Out of the Silent Planet. Dark, oppressive and intellectually unsettling, this album explores technological alienation, media saturation and humanity's growing emotional disconnection. We have Dehumanizer from 1992 with Black Sabbath. The reunion of the legendary Dio lineup with Ronnie James Dio, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler and Vinny Appice produced one of Black Sabbath's heaviest and most urgent albums. Arriving during a period of enormous change within rock and metal, the album responded not with compromise but with crushing doom-driven intensity. And the sound is heavy, still though it's from the early 90s. It's not easy to come up with new material in heavy metal during this period, but they kept the doom feeling and played it really strong. 3 picks: Too Late, TV Crimes, Master of Insanity. After years of silence, this horror punk institution returned with revitalized lineup and a more polished metal-oriented sound. We have American Psycho. Following the departure of original vocalist Glenn Danzig, bassist Jerry Only and Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein rebuilt the band with new vocalist Mikhail Graves and drummer Dr. Shug. This CD has an extra poster if you unfold it, and it's kind of neat, I think. And by the way, if you have the LP, which is really difficult to get, the original one, probably you have a bootleg that is not a part of the official release. Check it out, because it's really difficult to get the original. Very expensive. Misfits. 3 picks. Dig Up Her Bones. That, by the way, is a friend of mine, his dog used to love that song. Was his favorite song, actually. And we have American Psycho and Speak of the Devil. All right, this album marked the theatrical rebirth of one of rock's greatest shock rock innovators, combining horror film aesthetics with aggressive hard rock energy. It reintroduced theatrical darkness to an entirely new generation. We have Alice Cooper, Constrictor. He's back. Behind the Mask is built around the unmistakable motive associated with the Friday the 13th franchise. The song's extraordinary success in Sweden, while the single achieved only modest chart attention internationally, Sweden embraced it, propelling it all the way to #1. Sweden became the only country where the single achieved gold certification. Over the years, Cooper has repeatedly acknowledged the song's enduring popularity in Sweden by regularly including his back, the man behind the mask, in his Swedish performances. So, 3 picks. The great American success story. The man behind the mask. Give it up.